Easy Sports Talk Show with Ed Smith and Javon Adams. My name is Javon Adams. You can call me Jay or J Love. And next to me is the one and only Ed Smith. He not only played professional baseball, but he also played in the National Football League for that first Super Bowl bound team for the Atlanta Falcons. He's an author and he is also a public speaker. What is good, my brother?
He's also ticked off at Kentucky and a few other teams in this doggone March Madness. But yeah, I'm doing good, man. Happy Friday to you.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it because this is one of those things we might keep it a little bit lighthearted on this Friday. We do this 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So make sure you tell a friend. You can go to easysportstalk.com, easysportstalk.com. So this is your. There are a couple times a year where you are really in heaven, or you're really in your happy place. One is the what is it? The college, not college, but the Little League World Series.
Yes,
I found
sir.
that out about you, that you love that. Don't even mess with me. I'll record it, whatever it is. That's what you'll do. And then also March Madness, you fill out. How many brackets did you fill out?
I only filled out two.
Okay.
I keep it to a minimum. I might be in like 3 or 4 different pools, but the
Yeah.
max number of sheets that I do is usually 2. I might have, every now and then get to a third, but that's rare. It's usually 2.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So let's get into it because I was going to, because we on our Wednesday show we talked about, okay, are you going to fill out a bracket? I was going to. Then I started thinking I know so little about what's going on in college basketball that I thought it would have been it would have been easier for somebody to say, hey, you got $10 I can have, as opposed to me trying to take $10 and make it into something. But
to be honest with you, Jay, you would be one of the people that would actually win because you don't know as much as as everybody like myself. I think I'm a genius, and you pick Kentucky because they're a dark horse, and that's what everybody's been talking about, and blah blah blah. You pick them to go all the way to the championship game in one of your sheets, and they bow out on you in the first round. That's like I said, that's because I knew too much. You probably would have had a very successful sheet if you had done one. I'm guaranteeing you that.
I would have probably, because of name recognition, I probably would have picked Kentucky to at least get to next weekend, right?
Yeah.
So let's get into that. So I know you were that's one of the things that you were doing yesterday. You were watching all these games. You were probably, I know how. Did you have your regular football Sunday set up in terms of the multiple TVs going on?
Oh yeah. And I was tempted to pull the computer out for the 4th screen, but I figured because normally there's staggered games, so you can usually, by the time the first of 4 is ending, the 4th of the 4th is coming on, and if it wasn't a good matchup, it's like, okay, I'll let this one end, then I'll go to the split screen on the big screen. Got the other one over there. Don't need a computer. Normally, like sometimes I'll pull the computer out, man, and I'll have all 4 of them going at the same time. But yeah, it's the thing about college basketball now is because the transfer portal, man, is a beast. And then you look at some of the ages of some of these players because of the COVID year, and like you don't know where players are, until you actually see them. It's almost like dude's been on a milk carton all year, and you find out he's at such and such university or whatever. So okay, and then the other thing, like I said, the age of these players. Now, I got caught up in the talent once again that Kentucky has, but you got to remember what Calipari is doing. And I don't want to get too specific. He's the one and done young players, freshmen.
Yes.
And as much talent these young kids have, they're still going up against 23 and 24-year-old dudes, even at some of these smaller schools. And what happens is, you remember, Jay, when we were younger, I don't care what kind of talent you have, the older dudes, I mean, they were bigger and stronger. Now, as I got, I started to grow a little early, and I was able to battle some of those guys. But, I mean, you're taking these 18, 19-year-old kids, and you're putting them up against 23, 24. I got a 25-year-old on my North Carolina team, So that's the transfer portal, the NIL, all that stuff is even things out as well, because Kentucky used to be able to play players under the table. Now everybody's paying everybody above the table. So there's so many things that are going on. And, but I will say this much. It is why I love this so much. As much as it frustrates me, I love it just that much, because I would have to say, you brought up Little League or minor Little League World Series. That's number 2 for me. This is actually number 1. It's my most favorite time of the year, this first 2 days of the tournament, and then the tournament rolls on from here. But I love this, man. It gets me so hyped, and I mean, it's like I got a fever, bro. Like I'm sick. I'm sick.
It's one of the things that's interesting about Kentucky. So think about it this way. Sometimes you can luck into, and I'm not saying Calipari lucked into it, but sometimes the circumstances can just be right for example, a player can get hot in a game, right? Or and just be out of his mind. Or sometimes a coach, let's say in basketball, let's say in professional basketball, inherits a team that just is perfect, and they get deep into the playoffs because that team is just committed. Those group of players for that period of time is committed, and they get to, and it's not necessarily anything the coach is doing, but it's just the fact that the team is committed in that way. And I think when it comes to those one and dones that Calipari had for so long, that he was finding those players that were not only talented enough to be in that one and done category, but they were also committed enough, and they were coachable enough to be able to get past that first weekend. Do you think that that's the case as well?
Well, he became the face of the one and done. You remember he actually convinced coaches like Krzyzewski at Duke because remember he got the one that started the one and done guys.
Yep.
And he'd have a team of 5 of them. And he was beating teams like Duke, not winning championships, because I think he's only gotten one, but he was beating those other teams. And all of a sudden, Krzyzewski was like, well, I got to get into it too, So he became the face of it, and he continues to be the face of it. And at a time when now that's passé, because as I mentioned, the portal players are staying longer. NIL's keeping some guys here because they can make more money here than going to the G League. There's all these other factors now, and the freshmen, the Fab Five freshmen coming here, teams are looking at them like, "Come on over here, young boy, let me school you real quick." I got 4 or 5 years of college under my belt, no matter how much talent you have. And this is your first go around. So what Calipari's done, he took it and he's held on to it, I think, too long. You gotta, if you're gonna go get a couple of these one and done guys, you gotta pull some older, especially with the transfer portal, go get you some older dudes to teach these young dudes how to do it. So think about this. Calipari's got these young players, right? Last year, this time they were playing in high school. Now they're on the biggest stage of the college basketball, thing. And what's happening? He's made them promises of, because he's always so proud of, I make my players are the richest in the NBA as far, because he loves getting those guys. So later on, when they have the NBA draft, he'll have 3 or 4 of them sitting there, and he's proud beating his chest. But if I'm the university, I'm like, hey, dude, we didn't bring you here to make players rich. We brought you here to, this is Kentucky. We like national championships. And we're getting to the point now where it's like, okay, what is your goal, Calipari? Because Calipari, he likes to bring them in, and next year he's starting all over. Dudes, he's sitting at the table with him at the NBA draft, and here we go again. And why was I stupid enough to buy into that this year, just like they did with Purdue last year? It's like that's Jay. That's the problem. That's why I'm so pissed off. I'm not pissed off at Calipari. I'm pissed off at myself because I bought into it again, and he got me. But it's just my own fault. It's my own fault.
Now, any other things that maybe blew up your bracket? Because Duquesne won yesterday.
Yeah. They beat BYU. I had them as a sleeper getting to the third, to next weekend. Those are the 2 biggest for me. The other ones, I lost a couple 12-5s. Like I bought into McNeese getting, win maybe or 2. So my bracket, man, it's janky right now. It's busted. It's got so many holes in it, bro. Yeah, it's got so many holes. If I was sitting in a pond right now, I'd be knee deep in water, bro. It is what it is, Here's the thing. I'll say as much. I'm wishing everybody else the same amount of misery as me, because I don't look at everybody else's bracket to see what. So I'm hoping everybody else did the same stupid stuff as me, because there are instances when you do these brackets and you're looking like, damn, everybody went that, or at least enough people went that route. Whereas if my championship team gets to the championship, I still got a chance. So I'm hoping that I was not the only stupid person out there. We'll see.
Easy Sports Talk Show with Ed Smith and Javon Adams. So let's transfer to a little bit of something like that we heard about, that we saw on the that came across the other day. I saw it on ESPN. So the coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers, BJ Bickerstaff, he reported, what was it, last year, if I'm not mistaken, that he was approached by somebody in terms of because with the betting that's going on in sports today, in professional sports, because of all the, with the DraftKings and the FanDuels and all these things that have opened up, which allow more access to be able to bet. It was kind of inevitable. So, but he reported that he had been threatened by a bettor, and I'm surprised that. I'm glad that he mentioned something about it. I'm glad that he said something about it, but I'm not surprised that this is happening, because when you start to, if you can try to get your tentacles, if you can try to get to be able to influence a game, this happened before betting was legal. It was legal in of course in when you go to Atlantic City, or if you went to Las Vegas, but now in almost all over the country, you have people that are just able to pull out their phones and be able to bet, except for I think in California. But anyway, the point is, what were your thoughts on this? Because that's dangerous when if you're not somebody who can stand your ground and say, no, I'm not going to be influenced, I'm going to go report this, so that way they know what's going on, and that way we can move forward. Because all these players that are promoting the betting sites, you have even ESPN has their own had the ESPN bets, so they're into the sports gambling, all these things. And so it's the lines have been blurred in such a way that I would say it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that there are players that have been touched, so to speak, or even coaches, regardless of what the sport is, and to try to influence games one way or the other. But what did you think about this story? Because there's this story, and there have been others, but I think you'll start to see more like this. But I just wanted your thoughts on that BJ Bickerstaff story.
Absolutely. And I think there's more of it out there. And the problem with it, Jay, is all of professional sports have gotten in bed with the devil. And in gambling, here's the thing. Just because you make it legal now doesn't relieve all the issues that you had before. Before it was, well, we don't want, two things happen. One, sports, NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, they, for the longest time, it was like, well, everybody's betting on our sports. Why don't we need to get a piece of that, right? All the commissioners, and then all of a sudden, hey, just like with all the liquor and alcohol sponsors and stuff like that, man, you talking about we can make that much? So they go, and the other problem was, well, from the face of it, we don't want our players, going, and because there's illegal betting out there and stuff, and we don't want them being involved with that. And so why don't we make it legal? We can get paid for it, and then maybe some of this stuff will go away, right? All they did was enhance the problem, because now, one, we all know that there's still illegal betting going on. We saw the stuff just happen with Otani here. We might not even get into that, but we know that's still out there. Now you're getting paid for it all, meaning all the franchises and the NBA and NFL and the players. But here's the thing: we're still not sharing the profits, though, right? It's still all our money, but the players are the ones that are out there that are really doing all the work, and and the coaches. But we're gonna rake it all in. Y'all just be quiet back there and you'll tend to your business. And we got a lot of fanatic fans out there, for one, and we still have some illegal people that are still out there trying to make their money as well, still trying to approach these players. Now, in this instance with JB Bickerstaff, so he said somehow this person got his number. I don't know how that happened, but then they start approaching him. That doesn't surprise me at all. I'm trying to influence it. I'm wondering what he was saying. Was it, when you talk about threatening, maybe he was trying to talk him into, hey, you might want to let this one go, or you might want to make sure this game ends this way, or there's all kind of things that could be happening there. But it all falls on, in my opinion, all falls on the back of these billionaires and their commissioners that got in bed with. I mean, we just had a Super Bowl in Vegas, Jay, and I happened to be out there, and I'm thinking while I was out there, I was just like, it was unbelievable, and then the fact that you can bet anywhere. I mean, if you're in a legal state, you can bet from anywhere now, from your phone. You can go to a book house. You can do it on your tablet. I mean, it is, and the NFL and all these leagues, they've allowed this to happen. Yeah. You basically, what it's like, Jay. You got a fine wife, fine girlfriend, right?
Right.
And you're gonna introduce her to
Shamar Moore.
Shamar Moore. Yeah. And think that, that they're not going to have eyes for Shamar and maybe behind your back talking a little bit. That's what all this gambling stuff is. Yeah. These players, you got some players. Now, we know we've already had a couple busted in the NFL, right? Doggone well. There's a whole bunch, and I never betted. There's a whole bunch of dudes in all these leagues. They got a friend doing this for them, or doing it on the side. We've already seen a couple of them stupid enough to put accounts in their names, make bets in their names, bet from facilities and stuff like that. It's like,
and say, what do you mean? How'd you catch me? How'd you catch me?
God! So we know there's a whole. So good thing for Bickerstaff, he reported it. I'm wondering how many have gotten a nice call and thought, oh, yeah, hey, how you doing, dude? You bet. And the conversations have gone different ways. Yeah. So
you always look for the weakest link, right? So this is one of the things that I'm glad that Bickerstaff reported it. But here's one of those things. So let's say somebody that's trying to get their claws into you, they know that you step out on your wife, right? And so they come to you and say, this is what I need you to do. Otherwise, because I have this proof that you've been doing X, Y, and Z. So this is what I need for you to do, because otherwise you'll get divorced, and that's going to be half of your money. So I'm just trying to, we going to make this money together. So let's go ahead and do this. I mean, you have to really be on your P's and Q's when it comes to this stuff, because you're susceptible to being manipulated. You're susceptible to falling for this stuff. Again, it's so easy because you break out your phone. If I'm your partner and Ed, you playing in the NFL, you a tight end and you playing for whatever, the Raiders, I might be betting it. So the fact that I'm betting, then that's associated with you a little bit, because they're saying, well, if your best partner is betting, then you must be too. So it's all the slippery slope, and the lines have been.
Can I give you a scenario, Jay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Young player on the road in the NBA making all this cash, right?
Yeah.
You got a night off in let's say Miami or wherever you might be. And you might want to stroll out, you got your wife at home, the kids at home and everything like that, but you might want to stroll out a little bit, a little gentleman's club, something like that. Meet a dude. All of a sudden, this dude is buying you every drink in the house and every, lap dance you want and stuff like that, and befriending you. Next thing you know, hey, bro, next time I'm in town, let's hook up. Oh, give me your number, bro. Blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, he's got proof that you've been stepping out. You just talked about that you've been stepping out and doing your thing, right?
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden he's got you. And maybe he's involved in some, nefarious stuff, gambling and this, that, and the other thing. Yeah. He's already got a hook on you right there. Hey, bro, I saw, got a fine wife, got some kids, how long you been married, and then, or you let that relationship, kind of grow over the course of a few years. He goes from young rookie.
That long game.
He signed his big contract, and now he's got even more money, more family, and bro, you've been letting this mature for a while. Now, hey, bro, we need to talk. So that's how it happens.
Yeah,
something as simple as that.
And some folks listening will say it doesn't happen like that. Oh, things, please. There's long games on stuff. That's why when you walk, that's why you got to be careful about how you floss. That's the thing. But yeah, so we'll keep an eye on things like this, and I think next week we'll probably get into on Monday's show, get into a little bit more of that Ohtani, because that's interesting. It's almost
so
the
new
things that aren't being said in the Ohtani thing, that because some of the things that I heard yesterday, some of the speculation or the first things that my mind went to because but we'll get into that on Monday. But
Right.
I know you are going to be sitting in front of the TV again today because Thursday and Friday are the days
sir.
for you. I know your UNC squad. Did you have them go? You have them going all the way to the championship because you say you fill out 2 brackets. You got them going all the way.
One of them winning it all, the other one losing before they get to the championship game to Arizona. So I'm hopefully, obviously, I'm hoping that they win it all. But we'll see. But yeah, they look really good yesterday. Some other teams that look really good too as well. Anxious to see what UConn looks like today. Some others. So it'll be fun. It's a fun day, man.
There's so much pressure when you think about being the 1, 2, 3, 4 seed. I mean, five when you get to the 5, the 5, 12, 6, 11. I mean, you see some of those upsets in there. So there's some of that pressure that, man, you don't want to be another one of those 11s that get beat by that type of thing. But there's so much pressure when you those top 4 seeds. I mean, I can't imagine because you're supposed to go in and not just get by, but you're supposed to win comfortably. And if you don't, then the media is questioning you, and then you start to question yourself because why didn't we win easier because of what our seeding was? That's just I don't think that people understand that when they're looking at the bracket. You're saying, yeah, you should win, and because you're saying they should win, if you think about amplifying and multiplying that, that's when that pressure starts to mount.
Well, what's interesting is like the who would beat Kentucky? I can't remember the name of the team, but you can tell. You look at these, like you said, the Kentucky kids like deer in the headlight, first time in these big time moments, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got the other team that has absolutely nothing to lose, a 14 seed, and they come in and all of a sudden they're hot right off the bat. And it's like one of those things, you can see the pebble or the small snowball rolling down the hill.
It was
Oakland there. And those kids got so confident so fast. And, Kentucky got on their heels. And the longer it went on, you could see their eyes, meaning 2 separate eyes. The eye of the tiger for Oakland, they were like, man, we got, and the Kentucky kids, they were like deer in the headlights. And to be honest with you, if I hadn't, get this one, Jay, my son picked Oakland to beat Kentucky. Come on, seriously,
man.
Come on. So, and that's one of the things I love about this. But when to watch it is unbelievable, brother. That's what I love about this, because you got these schools that weren't even supposed to be there, and you got these kids, and man, it is so much fun to watch the upsets. And my favorite thing of all is the one-sided moment at the end of the tournament, win or lose or draw for me, how Tar Heels do. I love the flashback of this entire tournament, because like I said, these kids, some of these kids have been working for this their entire life with no fanfare, and that's what I like. Teams like Oakland and stuff, these dudes are literally there to get an education to move on after their basketball days. No NBA dreams in their sight or anything like that, but this tournament means that much to them. And bro, it's like I said, it's what it's all about for me. I love it.
Yeah, he is Ed Smith. I'm Javon Adams. We do this thing 3 times a week. Tell a friend about what we have going on here. Go to easysportstalk.com, easysportstalk.com, and then make sure you subscribe however you're listening to this, or if you're watching it. If you're not watching it, then go and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. That's the Easy Sports Talk Show. And as we always like to say around this time, are you okay?
Happy March.